Last week, President Biden's administration, they released a series of documents which shows just how radical and dangerous the current White House administration is when it comes to radical gender ideology, especially for children. And their latest edict is encouraging gender reassignment surgery and hormone treatments for minors. And the danger is the flow-on effect to other countries, despite Europe and the UK, and in fact some US states, now expressing significant caution about the harm this ideology is doing to kids. Let's check out this disturbing development. So, as I said, President Biden's administration, they've released a series of documents encouraging gender reassignment surgery and hormone treatment for minors, titled Gender Affirming Care and Young People, and Gender Affirming Care is Trauma-Informed Care. And this is what he said.
For example, the onslaught of anti-transgender state laws attacking you and your families is simply wrong. This administration is standing up for you against all these hateful bills. And we're committed to advancing transgender equality in the classroom, on the playing field, at work, in our military, in our housing and healthcare systems, everywhere, simply everywhere. Today, we're announcing even more steps.
And they're certainly announcing some pretty radical steps. And of course, it's not hateful. And, I think the actual policies of the White House are far more dangerous. And I want to look at those because the White House outlines the various treatments. Let's have a look at them. And among the list of claims it makes, the basically the Ministry of Health in the US says there's no evidence that medical transition has any negative impacts. They claim that putting a child on puberty blockers to pause the progression of puberty is fully reversible. But look, studies have shown that these treatments are not always reversible and side effects can include permanent infertility. They then argue that cross-sex hormone treatments are partially reversible for adolescents. Well, how much is partially? I mean, how much testosterone is too much for a biological female? Apparently not a person assigned female at birth as the document pretends. Yes, apparently the medical doctor or the midwife got the sex of the baby wrong. And, how much estrogen is harmful for the guy? And the Biden administration wants this for early adolescence. Now, the World Health Organization says that adolescent is ages 10 to 19. So Biden wants to chemicalize 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds. In fact, the Ministry of Health, the HHS document, also asserts that many children know their gender identity when they're as young as 3 to 5 years old. Yes, 3 to 5. But there's studies that aren't included in this documentation that show the risk of infertility is greater if hormone therapy is started before puberty. Now, puberty can start anywhere between the age of 10 and 14 for girls, as we know, and the age of 12 and 16 for boys. That is very young. And then it goes on to gender affirming surgeries. Now, they say typically used in adulthood or case by case in adolescence. And who makes that case by case decision? Activists, so-called medical professionals who should, in my view, be deregistered. Rather than healing the mind, they want to cut the body. Imagine if we use that approach with children suffering from anorexia nervosa or bulimia. Here, have some weight loss pills and let's do some liposuction. Now, according to the Biden administration documents, they want to include top surgery, which entails removing the breasts of females or constructing breasts for males, or it may include bottom surgery, which entails altering or removing the genitals, the penis, or reproductive organs. And notice the term at the top of this document, gender affirming care. It's a phrase used by transgender activists and media to mask these grisly surgeries. Apparently, it's care to remove a biological woman's breasts, remove a biological man's genitals, sculpt a fake penis on a biological woman, perform facial feminization or facial masculinization, and more. Social affirmation, puberty blockers, and hormones also fall under the so-called gender affirming care umbrella. Where's the careful watch and waiting? Where's the counseling? Where's the talk therapy? Now, if you want to read the specifics of all of this, read our report, Children Transitioning, a paediatrician's warning to New Zealand. And you'll be shocked by what the surgery actually entails. And that report is available on our website. And so the Biden administration affirms the use of cross-sex hormones and in some cases gender transition surgery for kids. And it's a right. You'll see there that children have the right to this. Not only that, it is crucial for transgender and non-binary children and adolescents. Early gender-affirming care is crucial. And the documentation is clear that they are talking about children, and this has attracted the most controversy. The documents repeatedly refer to, quote, transgender and non-binary children and adolescents. And Biden clearly alludes to that.
Transgender children, affirming your child's identity is one of the most powerful things you can do to keep them safe and healthy.
Now, it's keeping them safe and healthy. No, it's not that type of treatment. The Department of Health and Human Services then tries to persuade us, quote, providing gender-affirming care is neither child maltreatment nor malpractice. Yeah, pull the other leg. So, look, on one hand, you have watchful waiting, because research shows that the overwhelming majority of children grow out of their gender dysphoria after puberty, accompanied by counselling and support. And that for many children with gender dysphoria, there are also other comorbid psychiatric disorders. Anyone working with a transgender child needs to look for and treat comorbid disorders. In fact, for example, research has shown that children with autism spectrum disorders are 7 times more likely to want to be the opposite sex than the general population. So you have watchful waiting, therapy, and the healing of the mind on this side, or you have Biden's way, chemicals and castration on young people, the same children who struggle with knowing what clothes to wear, what they want for dinner, and when they should go to bed. Yet apparently they have sufficient knowledge to know that they were born in the wrong body and that it would be beneficial for them to cut off their breasts or penises, bind their chests, take cross-sex hormones, block the natural progression of puberty, potentially destroy their fertility. Apparently, according to the Biden administration, this is not child maltreatment. Unbelievable. Look, they are captive to a dangerous, radical, leftist sexual agenda, the same agenda that can't even define the word woman. And the Biden administration also says that gender-affirming care goes beyond medical procedures and includes access to opportunities such as playing team sports on the preferred gender team, using the bathrooms of their choice in schools and public places, which is kind of ironic given the furor around guys playing in female sports at the moment. In fact, I saw this one just this week. A transgender goalkeeper, let me show you her, who once played men's football, has now been selected for the England University's women's team. This 6', 32-year-old was born a male, but identifies as a female. Well, there's hope for my failing soccer career after all, perhaps. But I mean, we all just shake our heads, don't we? And we say, when is the madness going to end? Well, despite the renewed caution from Europe and UK and even medical professionals here in New Zealand regarding the treatment of children with gender dysphoria, according to Biden, the radical agenda is full steam ahead. And it's time for parents to be aware and alert. In fact, let me just finish with this excellent advice from our research paper, Boys, Girls, Other, which we actually published back in 2015 when we saw all this on the horizon. And it says this: what can a parent do? Oops, let's just go to the right slide. The key for parents to helping young gender dysphoric children is to work with a professional to identify the cause of the stress the child is facing and correctly diagnose any comorbid disorder that exists concurrently with the gender dysphoria. Parents, in cooperation with the professional, are in the best position to identify the cause of the stress the child faces and are the only ones who can really fix it. And then it says a caution about the choice of medical professional. Parents need to find medical professionals who are not advocates for gender change and who will look beyond the surface gender dysphoria symptoms for the comorbid disorders, fetishes, phobias, and adjustment disorders common among the transgender population. Only then can an effective treatment plan be devised that truly targets the child's needs. Look, every child deserves to hear that there is nothing they need to change about their body in order to gain acceptance from their peers or the adults in their lives. Young people need to know they're beautiful just the way they are, and there is no one better positioned to bring this positive view of human identity to their kids than parents. You can make a difference, and the time to act is now. Recognizing and acknowledging human biology is not ideological, it's not a form of bigotry. With full awareness of your rights and the ramifications of these transgender ideas, you can make a difference. Take courage, gather a community and speak up. Our children deserve nothing less.